It's March 7, 2025. We are at our house.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I am your mother. Or what should I say?
You can say that.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Tazinta. I am 47-year-old.
Okay. Can you get the owls?
Okay. Yeah.
What are they?
Those are owls. It's actually kind of Burmese owls.
What do you mean?
What do you do you mean? Should we restart or what?
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. So it's Burmese people usually thought it's lucky to have this kind of a set of owl, male and female.
Where did you get?
I got from family member, but you can easily get at the pagodas. There's marketplaces in the pagodas. They usually sell there.
What's a pagoda?
Pardon me?
What's a pagoda?
Pagoda is Buddhist temples with the sometimes with the big Buddhist sculptures. Buddha sculptures. I don't know.
Where?
Where in Burma, in Yangon.
What's that place like?
You mean the place like Burma or the place like pagoda?
Burma, Myanmar.
Myanmar is an Asian country, Southeast Asian country. It seems peaceful, but not actually. But I was born and raised there, and I lived there till I was 25. So it's kind of like the place I always want to be there.
You still want to be there?
Yeah, because especially my mom is still there. That would be the different. I think it will be different if my mom's not there no anymore. I'm not sure.
What else do you like about Myanmar?
I like people in general, and I like the food, and I lived different places in my childhood, so I'm familiar with not just one particular place. Kind of, I lived 7 or 8 different cities till I graduated, so I'm familiar with most of the places, and I like traveling in Burma.
Why'd you move to the West?
I was in Middle East before moving to the West. I was working in Middle East for 5 years, and then to settle with as a family, to get married, I moved to Canada first, and then now in US.
Why family in Canada and not Myanmar?
Especially if for the future, and if I don't want to raise my child the generation to live in Burma.
Why not?
It's very unstable. The country is very unstable with the unreliable and not a lot of resources. And if you're not rich, it's very hard. You will get a very hard and difficult life to struggle. So to raise a child and to have a kind of stable, reliable future, I always had planned to walk abroad since I was around high school. Like if I want to settle with a family and stuff, I don't want to do in Burma. Staying alone in Burma is okay, but if like start a family, especially with a child or children, the generation will face the very instability and the difficulties.
Why?
Because of the government and the education usually couldn't save the stability of the future. Even if you are educated with a master or PhD from the West, and if you want to stay back in Burma and live and work, you might probably have to work for someone who is very rich or powerful or some kind of military cronies, and you won't get fair compensation or the right to do anything, even if you are educated. If you are not rich or powerful or military cronies, you won't have anything. You will have the very difficult and unstable life.
So where do you like better, here or there?
For future stability, here, but for personal peacefulness or peacefulness, how do you say, personal choice, I still like there. But I don't want my family to be there.
Because it's dangerous?
I would say more to like instability, and you won't know what will happen tomorrow. Yes. You can say danger, yeah.
What should people know about Myanmar?
It's a very lovely country, and if you ever have a chance, you should visit. I mean, like, if you are not born and raised there, but to live there, to settle there, is difficult. So if you don't care about any like hardship or difficulties, you will be okay there. So healthcare system is very, very not reliable for if you are especially not rich or if you don't have connection. Let's say if you got bitten by a snake and if you can't reach to the hospital in time, you will die. And there is no something like reliable emergency services, or even if you can reach to some kind of regional hospital, the medicine or whatever the vaccination you have to take They could the expired one. They could be the expired one. It's not systematic. No systematic at all.
But if you keep the owls together, you're lucky.
Oh, not like that. It's more like, how should I say? They call lucky owls, right? So I think it still depends on yourself or the lack is depends on other factors too, even if you have the owls or not. I don't think all Burmese family has these lucky owls.
But they still bring luck.
Yeah, but you must have to have the pair.
What happens if it's not pair and you take them apart?
If gets lost, and it's better not to keep just one in the house.
Why not?
Like, you will become unlucky in some way. Like your family will like fall apart, or your savings may like disappear or something like that.
What do you think of Burmese people?
Burmese people in general? I mean, like Burmese people in Burma or Burmese people in abroad?
Both.
Burmese people in Burma, it's hard to say because it's very like different area has like different, even you can call Burmese different personalities, different upbringing, and different like where they grew up. Is depends on that. And in general is not well educated. Most populations, like most population Burmese, are not well educated, and the education, they didn't get the good education when they were young, and depends on the education, because of they didn't get the good education about common sense and how the thinking process are different. And still in most part of the Burma, they believed some stuff that the Western people might think that's not acceptable, or like they may think like funny, something like that.
What about Burmese mental health?
Mental health, since till years ago, we didn't usually like discuss openly about mental health, but last 5, 6, 7 years starting to change, because some people are trying to educate people. So there's a little bit changes, like, but in especially in 90s or like even in 2000s, people won't talk about mental health like very openly. And let's say if you are depressed or anxious about something, they wouldn't say like, how about you go see like any psychiatrist or even a doctor or counseling, something like that. We grew up not knowing even there is something like some profession called counselor or therapist. And if someone is to be known as he or she is seeing psychiatrist, and they would probably look down as like a fool. Don't talk with him, don't talk with her. there will be no good thing will happen. There will be no benefits by dealing with those people, something like that. But it's changing. It's people are trying to educate with. Some people are translating articles about mental health in Burmese and trying to reach like people, especially in the village area or far away place from city area. So now gradually they start talking about mental health freely. Like, I think I'm depressed. I think I should see some therapist, something like this.
Is there anything else you want to say about Burma and Burmese people?
Not really, because it's hard to say it, because Burma has so many ethnic people, and if I say something in particular, some Burmese may think, yeah, whatever she is saying is right, but some may also think, no, whatever she is saying is totally wrong. Depends on which area you were growing up and which kind of people you were dealing with. Even if you grew up in one city, if you grew up in the military complex or with the parents military background, and if you are not with military related at all, and there will be the different perceptions, aspects about Burmese people. It's different, yeah.
Why military is so important in Myanmar?
So it has been like since 1940 or something like that, and there were coup, not just one time, several times with the coup. Yeah. They were kind of abusing the power, and then by abusing the power, become powerful. Once you have the power, is usually the power has to grow, right? So there were lots of even the law is the law is not really 100% working in Burma. Someone is sometimes above the law.
And the instability and for family is why you moved to Canada?
Yes.
Well, was it like moving away from Myanmar?
Moving away from Myanmar, when it is okay if you know you can always visit back home anytime you want. That is kind of relief, but it will be more difficult if you know you can't visit back. And some Burmese people abroad these days, especially after the 2021 coup, cannot visit back because the military may get arrested when they go back. So away from Burma, it's okay because I know I can go back anytime. But it's difficult. It's a very long way back home.
What does it feel like?
In the early years of, because when I was 25, like early years, after a year or two, I moved out from Burma. I always wanted to go back home, and I did once a year. Every time it's a month. The company I worked in the Middle East, they allow the expatriates to go back a month every year. So I had chances to go back home. So in the early beginning of when I came out, when I came out, meaning when I left Burma, I could go back every year. So its transition was kind of smooth. So I worked for 11 months, and I'm back home in Burma for a month. But that was in Middle East. But after I moved to Canada, I couldn't go back every year, and especially with a child and family and responsibility and air ticket and stuff. Maybe after 2 or 3 years, I still could go back. So it is okay. There are lots of struggles, but that's okay.
It's okay for others too?
For other Burmese?
Mm.
I don't think so, and I'm not sure.
Why not?
Depends on their mindset and their education background and the profession, the field of profession they are like trying to be in the new place. For example, when you were in Burma, let's say if I grew up when I were in Burma, if I didn't learn English properly, and if I didn't know how to speak or write properly English, it would be more difficult for me to start a life, to start a family abroad. So some Burmese people, because of the education system in Burma is like very not modernized, or like, how should I say? They won't know proper English. To know English, like to be able to speak, communicate in English, the primary education, middle school, high school is not enough. You have to work hard, like you have to study in your own time, apart from the school work. So depends on the English proficiency, I think, because there are, for other languages, there are so many like translators or interpreters in area, but for Burmese translators or interpreters are not really available. So it depends on that. Other people may have more difficulties, or if they are like very well educated and their English is very perfect, and they may probably adapt in other country easier than the one who has some difficulty in communication and English proficiency.
What about difficulty with mental health?
Mental health. So when we were younger, the Burmese people, most of the Burmese are kind of Buddhist. Most, not all. There are so many Christian, Baha'i, Hinduism, Muslim in Burma, but I think most of the Burmese are Buddhist, and we grew up with, we means like our family, and about 95% of my classmates in school grew up with Buddhist teaching. So to be mindful and to be kind And whenever like there's a sad thing or the thing out of control, so we usually thought about whatever like kind of goes Buddhist teaching, and it's kind of life. Yeah, so if there is a low time, and there will be the high time, something like this. Like, how should I say? However, if people like a lot of depressed and anxious, I mean like Burmese people and mental health. You mean mental health in the Burmese abroad or mental health in the Burma?
Both.
How they handle
No? But abroad now.
abroad? If it is within the family, one of the family members has some mental health difficulties, other family member has to support by sending to the if it's the school age, going to the school counselor or something like that. And some they don't even know they are like depressed or anxious or other form of mental health. They are not even aware of that what they are. Not properly diagnosed still. And I've encountered some of my like friends of the friends, and when I listen their difficulties, I think it's about he or she is being anxious about that, something like that. But you don't want to go see the doctor or someone to get a priest or something like this, because still some are thought that's an embarrassment to see doctor for mental health because of the stigma. Still, Burmese living in abroad, they are not properly diagnosed or treated, and it's affecting the family members.
What do you think should be done?
Because they are adults, and we couldn't force. Well, we could, what should I say? What I did was sometimes I shared the article, something about that. Hey, I've read this article written in Burmese. If you're so, sometimes you're very angry at your spouse, or if you're very anxious about the how should I say, the commodity prices are up or down, you should read about that and think how to handle something like that. I would share the articles. That's the only thing I can do. And there were non-emergency hotlines, and I would share that to the other family members. That's the only thing we could do, because they have their own families. They are adults.